What's up? What's going on? Arvind Ramakrishna here, and welcome to Driven to Draw. And today we're going to be talking about how to get organized to start drawing. So let's get started. You know what? Everybody struggles with trying to implement a hobby and developing it into a habit, including myself. Even for somebody like me that has been drawing a lot, and I struggle with my own hobbies and trying to do many things because I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I work full time, and I am extremely busy. And sometimes a lot of you are kind of like me. I mean, you're trying to struggle, you're trying to find your mojo, you're trying to find these hobbies to start engaging into. And it's a struggle because you got so many things that are distracting you, because as soon as you start one hobby, or when you attempt to start to learn something new, well, then something else is thrown at your face, like exercising or doing yoga or something like that, right? So at the end of the day, what can you do about it? And I think that is something that I have struggled with, but I've kind of come to terms on what I need to do to sort of solve some of them. So the first thing that I used to do, or I started to do, was to keep a schedule. Because there's so many different activities that I have going on, taking the kids to their karate or taking them to their piano lessons, and then you've got other errands that you need to run. You got to do laundry, you got to cut the grass, you got to do all these crazy things, right? Well, part of that is really time management, and it's not easy to work with time management because sometimes you just feel like you just want to do things on the fly, but it doesn't work that way when you have a very busy schedule. So part of time management is to create a schedule. And when you create a schedule, you should be looking at what you're doing from a day-to-day basis. And sometimes when you try to put too much pressure on yourself and say, oh man, I got to start drawing for hours. And that's like one of the biggest mistakes you can make, because you don't want to put a time frame onto something, especially at the beginning where that time frame is too long. What you want to do is sort of cut that thing down a little bit. So if you want to start a hobby, well, start with 30 minutes instead of an hour. Or if you're thinking that you're going to get 2 hours, don't try to go for 2 hours. Go for an hour. But for me, when I first started sketching and drawing, I used to just do maybe a half hour spurts at a time, and I used to do them multiple times during the day. So sometimes you can do it during your lunch hour, or sometimes there's a particular day that you have free that you can sort of schedule another block of a half hour time to sketch outside or something like that. So bottom line is that if you want to spend more time on your craft, just split it up during the day and make sure that if you want to get 2 hours in, then maybe you separate them into blocks of a half an hour, or you separate them into the blocks of just an hour each. Now, keeping a schedule, by the way, doesn't mean a hill of beans at all if you don't follow it. So for me to get organized, I use Google Calendar. I just open up Google Calendar, I look at my week, my work week, and then I look at how much time do I want to spend on a particular day. Maybe it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Maybe it's Tuesday and Thursday. Maybe Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Something like that. And honestly, you really should be able to find at least a half an hour. I think that if you look at the amount of time that we spend engaging in a lot of other different activities, you're going to find that you have plenty of time to commit to a craft. And once you get it on your calendar, you have to stick to it. I mean, you can't put something on your calendar and just not follow through. So be very mindful of the time frame that you're committing. Start off with putting less time so that you can develop a habit. And a habit is going to take you at least a month's time. That means 1 month, 3 days a week, half hour a day, consistently, without fail. And once you do that, you'll find that it's like working out. It just becomes like an exercise. And pretty soon you just can't stop. You just have to do it. It's like people who got those Fitbits. They get their 10,000 steps. And then once they get a habit formalized, that they just can't stop doing it. They got to get their 10,000 every single day. And they'll even come home and start to walk up the stairs. If they got 8,000, they'll just keep running around the house until they get the next 2,000 steps. like I do. Now, speaking of which, even I struggle with habits. In fact, one of my new habits or things that I want to do is start working out again. Because when I was back in college, I used to have a buddy of mine who used to motivate me, who looked like frickin' Arnold Schwarzenegger. In fact, he talked like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He used to just pump it up all the time, and he looked like a bodybuilder. And he used to even come up to me and he used to just say, "Come on, man. Come on, look at you. Look at your spaghetti arms and legs. You need to start working out. Look at you. Come on. You always complain about wanting to be big, but you don't do anything about it. Now, come on. If you want to learn how to sketch, start sketching now. Before I ram my fist down your throat and pull out your spine. Stop the excuses. Now, come on. Do it." All right. That's it. That's my tip for today, with my horrible impersonation of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator, but that's okay. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more drawing tips and horrible impersonations. We'll see you here next week on Driven to Draw. Have a good one.